Everyone, Lisa Ferland here with Crowdfunding for Authors, and I am here to talk about the Unbound, Boundless mess because authors deserve the full picture, not just outrage, but some context and clarity. So first off, I just want to say that if a business model cannot pay the creators of the product that's being consumed because it's not making enough money, there is a problem with that business model. Okay, because authors, illustrators, creatives all deserve to be paid for their art, for their intellectual property, and anything that they create that has been purchased and consumed by the end user, right? So if the cost to create a book costs more than what they are charging, then that is not a business model. That's not a financial model that works. Okay, so let me just get that straight, because this is really heartbreaking to hear authors go through about how they're not going to get paid their royalties that they've been owed for 5 years and more. We can talk about, the legal ramifications and things like that separately, but really what is going on. So here's what's going on behind the scenes from the CEO, the current CEO of Boundless, that took over Unbound after it collapsed financially. Obviously, I don't think Sharma why would you take on like a failing company and then be surprised that it's not a model that works? I don't understand. But anyway. Basically, they do not have the cash to pay out historic royalties. Okay, like they don't have the money. Boundless is trying to survive and trying to make goodwill payments. But the CEO, new investors, people have left the board. No one's taking a salary. Okay, so Sharma's working for free. The board is working for free. They're trying to keep the company alive so that it can eventually pay the authors. So I do think that Boundless, the one that took over Unbound, is trying its best, but they inherited like a sack of bricks, right? So they're just getting pulled down to the bottom of the river and the current is sweeping them away. And I understand the frustration on the author side, but also from a financial side, there's truly like, you can't pay with money you don't have, right? And so they're trying to keep the company afloat so that eventually they can pay the authors. So this is the key thing, is that Unbound's original crowdfunding model did not work according to Boundless. And now Boundless is operating under the traditional publishing model, which means that more risk falls on the publisher side and authors have less direct control. I have no idea how much control the authors had in the beginning with Unbound, because it seems like they were upset about that too. But that's just outrage, and that's kind of common, I think. Unless you're self-publishing, you don't have as much control as if you were self-publishing. So I get the frustration. If authors want to own their income and keep control of the royalties and make creative control, there is a business model. It's called self-publishing. And crowdfunding. You can crowdfund on your own terms to launch each book. It doesn't have to pay for each book entirely, but you can launch it and you can recoup some of your expenses and then put that into your next book launch. This model exists. So if you truly want your royalties, if you want to be in charge of creative control, that is self-publishing. And then if you want to combine that with crowdfunding, like Unbound and Boundless are, you can do that. Now, crowdfunding is not guaranteed to make money, obviously. It's hard work. It requires marketing. It requires building your audience and making sure community takes action. But when it works really well. You get your book paid for. You launch your book straight to your readers. You get to develop a relationship with your readers. So when it works really well. So there is some power in that. And if this is truly what you're interested in, I'm happy to chat with you about it. But really, to the Boundless authors, yes, your books have been managed by your publishing company 100%. And you demand your royalties that you should be paid. Absolutely. But also empower yourself by learning how to self-publish, how to crowdfund, so that you can take more control of your books in the future, so that you don't put your faith into another publishing company and are disappointed, because you deserve respect, payment, communication, and the publishing world is tricky, and you deserve to be paid for your creative art and your work. So if you want to chat about crowdfunding your book, launching, building your author business, please, let me know, leave a comment or send me an email. And yeah, thanks for listening. Please leave some comments in the chat. Let me know what you think about this Unbound, Boundless publishing disaster. It's sad to see it happen. I've been following it kind of since the beginning when crowdfunding was really, booming in 2018. And it just has not panned out as a publishing model for this publishing company. So lot to discuss and a lot to consider. All right. Have a wonderful day.